New York City, the city that never sleeps, home to 8.4 million, with its rich history, bright lights, and scenic attractions such as the Statue of Liberty, the Brooklyn Bridge, Central Park, and Times Square, just to name a few, make it one of the biggest tourist attractions in the United States. Not only is it one of the top tourist attractions, but it is also an ideal place to live. Five-star restaurants, shopping, and nightlife on every corner, just a few of the features that make New York City a desirable place to live. Despite New York being a fun, vibrant city, there's much to take into account before taking the big step to move there. There are many things to take into account before moving to New York City. Some of these are: what is the average cost of living? How much are you making? How long do you plan on living there? What's your mode of transportation? How is your commute to work? Does your home need renovations? Those are a few of many things to think about. Not only is New York one of the most expensive places to live in the U.S., but it's also very difficult to find vacancy there. So that's another thing to take into account when looking for the perfect home for you. For some people, buying is a better option, while for other people, renting is a better option. This depends on many of the following factors. Average rent per month also could depend on the amount of bedrooms you're looking for, and whether or not it's inside or outside of the city. Average apartment price could also depend on the amount of square feet, and also whether or not it's inside or outside of the city. Whether you choose to rent or buy, income is one of the major factors that determines the location, neighborhood, and other desirable features that you can afford. New York City is known for being a glamorous city. However, there is a poverty rate of 21.2%, which has remained relatively the same over the past 30 years. The mean income of the lowest 20% in New York City is approximately $9,635. Renting in lower-class neighborhoods can depend on the size and the amount of bedrooms, studio being the cheapest and two-bedroom and up being the highest. It's very difficult to find an apartment that fits all needs, and these are still very costly in even some of the least affluent areas of the city. Although this is considered lower-class New York, it is actually considered middle-class in many other areas around the country. These are the average incomes of lower-class New Yorkers compared to lower classes in other places around the country. These are some of the most affordable neighborhoods in New York City. Although it might seem like a lot to many people, it is actually considered affordable in New York. Although these might be some of the most affordable neighborhoods in New York City, unfortunately, many of these neighborhoods are in poverty and may not be very safe. To be considered middle class in New York City, you must earn between $45,000 and $134,000, which is much higher than middle class in other parts of the country. These are some of the middle class neighborhoods, which may be more pricey than lower class neighborhoods. However, they are more affordable than high income neighborhoods and are also safer than the lower class neighborhoods. Rent varies on the size of apartment and location of neighborhood. Upper-class New York is one of the most luxurious areas to live in the United States. However, you must have to earn $250,000 and up to be able to afford this living. We look at the top 10 wealthiest neighborhoods and the top 10 safest neighborhoods. While the wealthier neighborhoods may be the more luxurious of the two, the safest neighborhoods will provide one with more safety and reassurance. There are many other factors to keep in mind other than the income that one is making. One of these is transportation, which varies greatly depending on the mode you choose, as well as the distance you need to commute each day. Factoring utilities such as electricity, heating, water, garbage, internet, and cable could also up the price of your rent or mortgage. These are some of the most desirable features included in a New York City apartment. However, could greatly influence the price of a home. Certain features can add up to 43% to the cost of rent. It can be concluded that choosing a home in New York City is no easy process. While we all want to live in a posh penthouse apartment in the heart of the city, realistically, very few people are able to do so. There are various factors that must be taken into account, such as the cost of living in New York in comparison to one's income, whether or not to rent or buy, the location, the quality of the neighborhood, and the features included.